What's up, guys? It's John at National Sports Entertainment, and I was looking into my first, week, like which team I was going to cover first for Week 1 here in the NFL, and this caught my eye, and I just thought I had to put out my opinion on this first. So it's the Damar Hamlin saga. As you know, I've covered multiple of these videos. Lately, I have to be a little more meticulous with my wording because even citing facts that are quotes will get you my Bronny James video was immediately yanked because I was reading some facts from the CDC. But anyway, this I find very interesting because we have Damar Hamlin returning, and obviously the question, if you went on Twitter, when this happened, and you just typed in the name Damar Hamlin, one of my videos I do this, one of the earlier ones on him, the number one trending topic was Damar Hamlin clone. That's just typing in Damar Hamlin. So, and that was trending in the world. So, and then after that was a bunch of other things, just people very curious about what was really happening due to the ridiculous photos where you really couldn't make him out, the discrepancies between what people thought, they noticed, what I thought I noticed between 2001 pictures and then pictures from after the heart attack, etc. So, what I found interesting about this is they've been telling us for a while he's returning, and I thought the statement was really interesting. I'm not going to lie. Let me see where it is. That's Damar's. I'll go into his in a second. I think it's right near Von Miller. Here we go. It's Sean McDermott's quote. I don't think so. When asked earlier, it's not like I'm playing too much touch out there in practice. I say that because there's been enough or several thud type of contact points. Now that's an very interesting statement. He's saying basically there's been enough of a sample where he's been hit enough and they can deduce that he's fine. Now, and he goes on to say there's just been enough of a sample when you're playing. He's executed well and come out like he's healthy. If you remember the supposed injury, they said it doesn't matter if you're healthy or not healthy. It's a complete fluke, and it's like touching a light the wrong way and the light just shorting out. He was just hit a particular way. So I don't know why they're talking like thud contact points. Like now they're acting like this type of thing can't happen. So it's very interesting to me how they're just changing the narrative. And now it's kind of just like, okay, yeah, it wasn't this one in 10,000 fluke injury, because these samples at practice and even specifically saying several thud type of contact points and they haven't been hit, so he's fine, essentially, makes absolutely no sense because he was already killed. He was technically dead from that supposedly happening. Now, I don't think that's what actually happened, but it's just very interesting. So they're saying he's checked all the boxes, even though he can't check an imaginary box of this hypothetical injury that they've created. I forget the technical term for it, but essentially your heart gets hit in a particular way, spazzes up and shuts down. And it makes absolutely no sense. It's a coin flip. Like not a coin flip. It would be like flipping 10,000 coins, but it's a injury you can't practice and say, okay, he's good, he's back to normal. Again, they're implying there was something wrong with him before this fluke injury. It almost seems like. So we'll go to Hamlin's statement, and it's not until the very last sentence that I really found something interesting. I did think he was talking like a rookie would talk, like he wasn't acting like he's played football in the NFL. There's another article where he goes on, I believe, to say more than this, but he goes, I made the choice that I wanted to play, it wasn't nobody else's choice but mine, so making that choice, I know what it comes with. It says after the first preseason game, so you see my cleats laced up, my helmets and shoulder pad on, there ain't going to be no hesitation. Of course, all we're going to see is probably him with his helmet on. I seriously doubt we're going to get many pictures of him just sitting there without a helmet. Now, I could be wrong, but I've noticed a lot of the pictures they've shown have been just very set up, edited. Not edited, they are edited if you look at them. They're filtered and things of that nature, but there's not many pictures where you just see his face and he's just doing something. They have the one at the ESPYs. They have the one at that they've been showing forever, where you just see him wearing his Bills gear. You have pictures, but there's not that hundreds of them like a lot of other athletes. So he says you can't play this game like that with no hesitate. You got to play with no hesitation. You'll be putting yourself at more risk by hesitating. I'm out there. I'm just not thinking twice. Now, this is what I found very interesting. I'm just playing my game and kind of how I was taught to play since I was my little brother's age. Now, again, you can call me a conspiracy theorist. I didn't know he had a little brother. I'm sure he does. But as a guy who watches wrestling, they did a really funny gimmick where this guy returned as his younger brother, and he was himself. But it was the Elias Ezekiel gimmick. Now, I know that might sound crazy, but I've been saying for a long time, people have been saying over and over that this guy was cloned. And I said, you know what, I don't think they would go that far. I think they found the guy who looks just like him. Now, who might not like him? Who's going to look more like a guy than his brother? So, I'm just saying, I think it's definitely a possibility there's another Hamlin, and he's the guy that they have out there playing. And I wouldn't think that if he didn't, it just doesn't, the way he words this is very weird. Who remembers playing football that way? So he's saying I'm guessing his little brother is currently 16, 17, right? I'm guessing, I don't know when he started playing football. Probably when I started playing football, I was 12. So, I mean, I don't know how young his little brother supposedly is, but that's who he's obviously referring to. But I do think it's another in plain sight little kind of jab they're throwing out there, that he just has to throw out his little brother. Doesn't even say his name. So the whole thing, in my opinion, was really interesting. I just wanted to get that out there because it's going to be the last time I cover him, because they're just going to say, oh, Hamlin did this, Hamlin did that, and people are going to forget that half the world was questioning what happened to him for a very good reason. So I'm kind of done with it, just like Pat McAfee and the other ones that I feel like I've put to bed the best I can. There's not much more I can do. People know Pat McAfee's a scoundrel, and at least half the people know that he's either not Damar Hamlin, or if it is, there are some big secrets we have not been told, because the chronology of what happened to him makes absolutely no sense at all. People have gone into how he supposedly broke his ribs from the CPR and all the stuff they had to admit, the ventilator, etc., the defibrillator, everything else they used. And then that week, he's jumping up and down in the press box, doing signals with his hands above his head, all these different things. So none of the chronology makes sense. They've completely changed the original narrative that he was out for an hour, and it took the paramedics to bring him back. At the ESPYs, they changed it to basically he dropped and immediately was recovered. So they've lied about the whole thing. And again, in old videos, I'm looking at articles that have recently been taken down. So there's actual articles in my old videos that are long gone now, because they probably realize how ridiculous they look. So I am going, I know a lot of people are interested in the season. I'll be getting into the season, obviously, probably later tonight or tomorrow. I'll be having some of my week 1 picks out. But I saw this and just thought it was kind of ridiculous, and I just wanted to cover it, especially because I thought the very end here was really revealing. This is the kind of stuff they do. This is how they let people know. It's just like Masonic code, where you have to tell people. If you look into Masonry, it's one of the top things. Truthful enlightenment, but also being silent. So it's really interesting that he just, again, has to go to his little brother, who I speculate, a little brother might be suiting up as number 3 this year. That just, after reading that. And the coach's assessment makes no sense. If this happened the way it said it would, a normal coach's response is, we're just praying. He looks great, but of course you never know. We saw what happened before, because you don't know. But he's acting like this was some kind of degenerative issue that has now been fixed, and that's not the case. It's like he was struck by lightning, and then you're out there practicing well, yeah, this time I feel like I'm less likely to be struck by lightning. It makes absolutely no sense, because that's what supposedly happened to this guy. And yeah, they're just treating it really ridiculously. So we'll see if this even stands. I've tried to be meticulous with my wording, but my Brawny one got shut down by simply quoting CDC numbers. So we'll see what happens. And like I said, I'll have more positive videos coming out lately, just about, we're going to be beating Vegas some more. We have college coming up. We started off 2-0 there. Pretty easy picks. But I just wanted to hit this one last time because this is just absolutely absurd that if you think about it, so many people had questions and now nobody even cares because they just moved on by with hundreds of news stories like they do with everything else. And now people are going to be cheering for this guy as a hero when there's a good chance it's a guy who's never even stepped on the field come week one. It'll be interesting to see how he plays too, because we can watch movement from Damar in last year, see how his leg movement was, things of that nature. Those are dead giveaways. So that should be interesting as well. So I think it'll be a good season, and I just wanted to get this out there because I saw the article and thought it was insane. So take care, everybody, and happy earnings.